Wake up!
Good morning.
What's that from?
It's from Full House.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I know mine. Come on. Come on. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on these potential bad boys right here. This, my friends, is the Nike LeBron 19 Low. And yes, we skipped last year's low because those looked awful. They just didn't look cool. I tried them on and everything. I was like... But like last year's lows and the lows before it, they actually have the same exact cushioning setup, which I'm not mad about because it's really comfortable, man. When you put these joints on, you're just like, jeez. I know that the other ones got Zoom Air in the front, but hot damn, React when it's done like this, whew, boy, it is nice. But before we talk more about the cushion, look at that outsole, bruh. It looks just like the mid tops or high tops, however you want to call it. And basically it's got the LeBron James crown logo. So that thing right there, that's the pattern itself. A lot of people that wore the shoe, because I was not one of them, I ended up just playing in Pumas. I don't know what it is, but like I'll put on a shoe. If I don't like it, I instantly take it off now and I put on what I do like and I just play basketball. I'm like, all this shit. I just want to have fun out here on the court. I don't want to think about all this other stuff. I just want to do my thing. But I did check out other reviews and they were sliding like crazy on this thing. Like lateral movements, they were like out of frame. It was nuts. So I don't know if this is gonna work well or not. All I know is that a lot of people seem to have issues laterally. Linearly, it feels like it'll be fine because there are little nubs and things like that, especially horizontal nubs. So they'll have some friction going front to back. But if you wanted a better idea as far as like how this thing actually performed, go check out a performance review on a LeBron 19 High and you should get a good idea as far as like what these are gonna be about. I don't know if people are actually gonna hoop in these. I don't know. People did hoop in last year's lows, but I know that people prefer the mid or a high. Not me, I like lows. Also, one thing to note, this one is an XDR. So I got these from our good friends over at ID for Shoes. They're overseas in Taiwan. They have the EP last or the performance fit last, the wider last. They don't feel very wide, but it is what it is. And then they got the XDR outsoles. A lot of people keep asking if XDR is still viable indoors. The answer to that is yes. What the hell was I just playing in?
The Adidas Harden.
I did play in those. Those don't have XDR. What did I play in that have XDR?
Was it the PGs?
It was the PGs.
The 6s.
The PG6s, yes. The floor that I was on was not good. So the only thing that seems to grip those are my GT cuts and my Puma Mellow shoes, like the MB1s. So I don't take that for like much of anything because that floor is slick as shit. But typically XDR does work well, both indoors and outdoors. And for example, if you were to touch the PG6 bottoms, even though they do have the XDR rubber, it's very pliable still. Like this, they're not like super hard rubber or anything like that. So you're gonna get plenty of friction indoors. It's just supposed to be a little bit more, but it's something outdoors. Even, I don't really, does it really work, guys? All you guys that are overseas, how quickly does something like this last when it's got a thin ass outsole like that? Let me know. Now, as far as the cushion is concerned, like I was saying earlier, they switched things up from the mid-top version and they reverted back to what they started doing in, I believe it was the 17 lows, right? The ones with the Bugs Bunny carcass. Gosh, those were so tight, like it wasn't even cool. But the cushion is the same, so we still have the Air Max unit in the back, but this time around, it's the same Air Max unit that's in the mid-tops. They had been doing the 720 type of units and stuff, the really big one. This one is not quite as tall as those, but it feels just as good. I also love that it's chambered right here, so you got a pressurized unit in the middle that expands and connects to the tube right there and disperses amongst the rest of the unit, and it just feels like an old school penny model, man. I fucking love it. And then the rest of the midsole and the forefoot is all Nike React. I thought that there might be possibly some Zoom Air embedded within the React midsole, which would have been crazy. That would have been awesome. Although it might have been a little bit too much cushion, but that's not what's in here. It's just React. It does feel great, by the way. Can I just say real quick though, that aesthetically, like, do these remind you of anything?
So many shoes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it reminds me of one of my favorite LeBrons, which is the Soldier 3s. It also reminds me a little bit of the LeBron 6s, like the actual signature shoe. What did they remind you of?
I feel like toe caps are making a big comeback. So they reminded me of some shoes that we've had to come across the table lately, which was the D-Rose 1.5 Resto Mod. And then the PG6s also have a toe cap. And I'm just kind of like, so this is back in.
I'm not like against that. I really like a good clean
All the
toe cap.
questions, I get it.
That's not a toe cap.
That is a toe cap.
That's a toe panel.
That's a toe cap. That's a giant toenail.
Stop saying that.
Toenail.
That's gross. Anywho, If these were an independent toe cap, they would really be like the Soldier 3s, but they're not. It is stitched in there, and on top of that, it's a synthetic leather, even though it looks like actual leather. It looks like there's some texture on there. That's on purpose. That's how they're able to make those top coats. So that top coat is polyurethane underneath that, just like microfiber material that they slap together. Kind of feels like vinyl, but they make it feel like leather. So when we got synthetic leathers, typically I like actual leathers, but when we have synthetic leathers and it looks and feels like this stuff, I don't mind it whatsoever. Make it feel like it's supposed to, and I don't care. The rest of the upper is quite interesting though, because it feels and looks just like the Leno weave stuff that was on the Air Jordan 36. Like when I went and read the description on Foot Locker, because of the Fruity Pebbles released, right? The Fruity Pebble colorway is kind of cool actually, because the air unit is clear until it hits the sun, and then it turns purple.
It's like Crocs.
Do Crocs do that?
They have like a whole line where it changes on the temperature, I think.
Well, I just know that like Saya Collective will do that. Like they've been doing that for like the longest time. So to me, whenever I see a color changing anything, I automatically think of Saya Collective shoes. But like I was saying, the upper itself reminds me a lot of the Leno weave upper from the Air Jordan 36. The description that was on Foot Locker said translucent upper. So that was super descriptive. I really enjoyed that. Yes, that's sarcasm. However, they do sculpt the entire upper, like the way that it's designed, much like the LeBron 19s, or the high top LeBron 19s, I should say. And that's like with this top edge right here, where it's like rubbery plastic. I just think it looks really cool. I love the language where it moves from the mid to the lows. That's something that I thought was really missing between last year's shoe, where the 18s looked one way and then the 18 lows looked like a completely different sneaker altogether. It didn't look like a lower version of those. This one I feel like looks more like a low version of the 19s, which I really like. I like that kind of, I don't know what to call it. I guess it's design language, but I just like that it looks like it's part of the series. Like when you see a Jordan low top, whether or not you like it or not, it actually looks like the high top or the mid top counterpart. So that's how I feel like it should be. I will say though, one of the best parts about this low top design is that these joints right here are not piercing my ankles. I don't know why, but these things on the highs, like they your shit up, and it is super uncomfortable. You could wear the tallest socks that you've got, it'll eat right through them.
I guarantee it.
And then inside the shoe, we got those cool little ankle pods, which I think are fantastic. They really hug and cup the Achilles area. It feels great. The entire shoe feels way nicer than the mid-top ones. I feel like it feels more refined.
Indubitably.
Oh, and for all of you guys that are big old fans of that lion, he is right there. Once again, very much like the Soldier lines. This one kind of reminds me of the LeBron 8s a little bit, and you know, it is what it is. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size, so whatever you typically wear, that's exactly what I would recommend. If you're a wide footer, what I would recommend is to try them on in store if possible. These are fairly low, so if you do get them up half a size, like what some people do to kind of accommodate for the width and everything, yeah, you could get some of that floppiness in the back, even though there are those heel notches, but I don't know if it'll be enough. I was playing in those Hardens. Remember how like I wasn't sure, because like the fit, like they feel huge on my feet, even though lengthwise they're okay, but it's because I could see through the back, right? But it's because those heel notch things like take up everything. They played perfectly fine despite me looking down and being like, this can't be my size, you know, right. But they were. But yeah, I just don't know if that'll work with these, even though it could.
The heel notches they've been doing on some of these shoes are so beefy, it almost reminds me of like those roller skates that you can buy where you can extend them. So it's almost like, oh, they're too small, let me just take those out somehow.
Yeah, there's a way to finesse it, you know, like this one feels a little softer than the Hardens. Like I said, if you get a half a size up to accommodate for width issues, it could be too soft where it's not really like secure around your Achilles area, whereas the Hardens had like 4 giant ones.
Yeah, and it has the cat's tongue, so it's...
And it was firmer.
Yeah.
So it was just a little bit different, even though it's similar and supposed to do the same thing, so not all heel notches are created equal.
Is that the specific phrase, like, for that Adidas?
What?
Cat's tongue?
I believe so.
Oh, because I'm just saying it's a shame that LeBron with his lion.
Oh, you mean like is it exclusive?
Yeah.
I don't think it's exclusive to Adidas. I think that cat's tongue material is like
I don't know. Nike does these things. Or I guess all the brands where they're like, this is mine. You can't.
Yeah, no, Nike will name things like EVA, they turn into Phylon and stuff just so that it sounds proprietary, but you know, I don't know. All I know is that these fit nice, they're comfortable. They didn't break the bank. Like the high tops are mad expensive. They're $200. These guys, much less than that. I think they were $160. I feel like that's just a better deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Shout out to ID for Shoes, by the way. If you were interested in this particular colorway, they're available over there now. We'll leave a link down below in the description box. And until next time, guys, have a good one.